Hey Neela, I'm recording for you. I recorded earlier and it didn't come out good because I think I didn't adjust the volume. So I'm gonna quickly recap what I said. And this is mainly for the question that 83-year-old dad has lymphangitis and you're treating him with anthelmetic and it's not working, right? That's my understanding of the previous topic we were speaking about. So I'm going to tell you what worked for me and why I even got involved with this. The reason was I ate. One of the things I do is it doesn't matter what you put in your body, it's how you process that makes us healthy. So I don't really focus on what I eat because most of the food we have has toxins in it, and I feel I'm very allergic to rice only because it has a very high arsenic content. The amount of food I can eat is getting less and less and less. So I decided instead of fighting the problem of trying to choose the right food, I'm going to figure out how to detox better. So this way, I'm not so much focused on what is the right food to eat. So that helped me to offset my diet. So the way I am doing my diet, because it's all about the toxic fat we store in the body. So the toxins are actually processed mostly by vata layer. If you understand that concept, the body has similar to I'm going to combine, see, all the knowledge I have with Siddha, Ayurvedam, Nadi, Vaidyam, and then lymphatic medicine, meridians, and Western medicine. So we are going to combine all that together. I'm going to tell you in a nutshell how I even arrived at this point. I used to wake up with headache, and this happened long ago. I forgot, like maybe because I forgot when I had the last headache. I mean, I do get a headache once in a while, but not like this. Maybe I wonder if it was in 2006. So the headache used to um, go back and forth. Like, sometimes it'll be here, sometimes like I'm like thinking, what the heck is that problem due to? And that's when I was going through Dr. Marshall's protocols. He believes everything is connected to digestion. And since then, I have understood pitta layer plays a major part in our health. But but we get energy from prana source, and pitta is the processing in our body, and then the kapha is anti-inflammatory part. So the kapha is the way the mucus, we let out toxins. That's why in India they call it nine holes. And Swamiji just now released a mandala that kind of depicts the same. He had Guru Mandala, and he calls it all the sinuses is controlled by silver. So that is anti-inflammatory. That kind of makes sense, right? And then um, and he did Guru Mandala copper for fire, and then he did gold for um, consciousness, which is the moon, which is, what is the third one left? Vata. No, Pitta, Vata, right? Vata is, yeah, consciousness, gold. So that's the way I'm thinking. I'm gonna read that further inside me, and then I'll understand. But see, all the gases that comes into the body is vata. That's the in charge, right? because Vata is in charge of space and air, if you understand that. And why is it important? Because the body is not matrix, it's antimatter. That's a secret holder of our health. The reason I know is in CERN, it's in Switzerland, they were trying to do an experiment where they were trying to go after this dead space in the body. So they decided, they felt it is a hydrogen filled space. So they wanted to map it. And interestingly, when they tried to map it, that's when they discovered the CT MRI, because when they went after antimatter, the matter showed up better. So that's how the whole CT MRI scan even evolved, which is very interesting. So, but the space is not as empty as we think. These are like dance of these hydrogens. And eventually CERN adopted Nataraj statue as its symbol. And I'm like, Matta Tata Kuttela Vandana Edo Parindrakena. But like, follow me, okay? So, Vata Vande, all five gases. So, it's Prana, Apana, Udana, Samana, Vyana, okay? And then, so Prana and Apana is breathing process. So, if you understand that, you will understand. So, like, Prana goes up through the back, which is inhalation energy. Apana is exhalation energy through the front, so descending energy. So apana has to be released, letting go. Exhalation has to be forceful, then inhalation can be involuntary and we reset our body. Adhanalda skynetial exercise, it is actually called Kabbalistic. Uh, no, not Kabbalistic. Is it Kabbalistic meditation? It's like, yeah, Kabbalistic meditation. I think you do belly breathing, but the thing is, it's not breathing. It's like huffing, Mari. So you let it out, and actually, I'll show you a very nice video. You guys will probably enjoy it because that's the way I taught my patients. So once you understand how to let go, and I'm gonna make my screen a little bigger so you guys can see me. So while I talk. And why is it all important? I'll tie it in. So it's called shiny skull breathing. I think it's, and there is one guy, when you watch him, you could see how it is like almost like he's breathing like in a vent. He's a Gujarati. I love the accent. He had a funny accent. I think I liked his demonstration better than others. Nope, they're not coming up. For some reason, I'm sabotaging myself. So that's the one. It's called Kapalpati. I hope I can get his. No, it's not the one. I think I am not sure. I think it's called Pure. What something pure. He had a website. I think he was probably demonstrating for some other company, and I think I'll try to find him because I liked his breathing the best. I was stunned when I was watching it. I'm like saying, oh, he's doing better than a vent. I was thinking. Pure detox, is it? Pure detox breathing. This one, Kabbalah detox breathing technique. I like his video the best. So I hope you guys watch it with me. So I haven't understood how. So I'm gonna. Better than went, right? I think he is the best demonstrator for this breathing. So if you watch that, so Swami Nithyananda says 1600 breath per day is the amount you need to do. And so that is like, the reason I'm bringing it up is, so the apana is what drives the prana. So if you understand that exhalation has to be complete for inhalation to be effective. When inhalation is effective, you oxygenate better. Okay, so that's one thing, because oxygenation is what is going to get rid of lymphatics. Lymphatics. Oh, why did I use the headache as my first? The reason why I arrived that is in 2006, I was having a headache, and it was like almost felt like a gas ball was rolling. So that time, Dr. Marshall was saying, whenever you have interference field, that offsets the energy flow in the body. So this is the second place. So energies come in through the inhalation, exhalation, and the reason samana is important is samana is the ultimate energy that is derived from metabolism. So we nourish our body by the micronutrients that is released along with the intake of these pranic energy through this air particles, and it goes into the, Swamiji calls it air pockets in the hair follicles, and that allows us to feel this bliss. It's called methylation process, and that takes 72 hours. So the samana energy is actually the ultimate is resource after the digestion through circulation. So it's the completion of a circulation cycle. So if you understand that, the circulation cycles roughly take 72 hours to complete. That's why I heard big sports people before marathon, they do not eat so they don't burden their system. So if you understand that, so the race food and all is based on the pitta layer to be in completion, which happens after 72 hours. Okay, so the vata layer is responsible for 5 gases, and the energy flows through this web, so the radial side, and then the kapha is on the ulna side, and the medial part is the pitta. And that's why, like, I feel almost like, see, நம்ம மாங்கல்யம்லாம் எம்ம மாதிரி இருக்கும்ல, I wonder whether there is like a inundo about samana layer. Like I have to really like sit and process this more, because that kind of like would make sense if we look at it that way. So then I'm going to show you the scalar wave lasers, because that's what. So when I understood about interference field, that's when we use in given the Americala, we use clay, bentonite clay, or the French green clay to offset these layers, because it pulls out the toxins locally, because you need to take out the toxins. And because I had a thyroid surgery in my past, I was thinking maybe that's why the interference field is in my head. That's why the air was floating up and down. And if you understand oxidative stress, and these are oxidized um, radicals. So these are oxidative stress. அதனால தான் like they are floating in the like a bubble. And that's why like you get the headache when they expand the blood vessel. They're going up and down and stuff. So scalar wave lasers. I love this laser. This is a little expensive. It's $3,000 for a unit, and I bought one. I love, like, I have like so many tools. I love everything I own. So the scalar wave lasers, right? I'm going to show you how it looks. So that's one. So I bought it from this guy. He's really very nice, amazing guy. I think their home is in Vermont, New Hampshire, up in they're probably like 2-3 hours. Or maybe Vermont is 4 hours. So the scalar wave, the reason is it has a specific type of a wave that I heard is capable of even splitting the earth into two. That is that powerful. And there is a setting in that called coherence field. It allows you to cohere. So I was doing a treatment with my scalar wave unit, and I could hear a pop suddenly. And that's when my headache went away. And that's when was my aha moment. I said, oh, so actually vata is gas. I didn't realize the connections until I used the scalar wave laser. So when you do coherence setting, the scalar wave split that gas particle. So literally my bubble burst and my headache went away. So that became a quest for me to understand vata layer more. So now that you understand prana is inhalation energy, apana is exhalation energy. Of these two, focus on apana, normal, you will normalize prana. And then samana energy is digestive energy. Udana and vyana, udana. Udana vayu. It's 6 minutes long, maybe it's quick.
All living beings share the commonality, the universality of the cosmic energy, the cosmic catalyst called prana. Prana, the cosmic catalyst, is the life force that enables us to be a living being. This prana of the universe is called Mukhya Prana. Is connected to its physical mother by the umbilical cord. We are connected with our universal mother through this pranic umbilical cord. This prana, the Mukhya Prana that comes into vayus, the prana vayus, starting with prana, which is the one which is enabling all the functions to happen in our thorax. The process of respiration, the process of digestion, elimination, the aparna, the process of communication, udana, and the circulation of blood and nerve energy to every nook and corner of this body. That is the Vyana.
So the centrifugal energy is Vyana, and the Udana is the like the way the vocal cords, like, so if you understand that, right? So that's the second thing you need to understand. And then what I wanted to say was, so so we are just going to focus on that because I don't want to go into Pitta and confuse you more. So the lymphatics is the way body eliminates toxins. And how does the lymphatic get involved with third spacing of fluid is the lymphatics initially tries to filter out, but when the filter fails, right, like when it gets congested because the lymph nodes are bogged down by the load they are doing, they're getting ineffective. Usually immunity is ineffective if thyroid is not working well. How is the thyroid connection? So go to my blog site. It is called thyroidrx.blogspot.com. So everything goes back to thyroid. And why thyroid fails is because we are lacking iodine. Why we lack iodine? Because of environmental toxin. Where are these environmental toxin? Every chemical that comes in through the body is has to be cleansed only if we have enough iodine in the body. So chlorides, bromides. Chlorides is from the water source. Arsenic also is from water source. Arsenic also is in our chemicals in our rice because they put rat poison to kill the mice from eating rice, and that leaches into the rice. And apple juice, like, there are many juices also nowadays coming with arsenic. Cadmium is in the environment. Nitrites is in the chips and stuff, chip industry, Maggie, and all the other chemicals. Bromides is from the bread source because they took out iodine to prevent being sued. Fluorides is in the toothpaste. So all sorts of chemicals. Initially, if we don't have enough iodine, thyroid uses it as a replacement to balance for iodine, and it makes almost like a plastic fish to fish. So if you plastic or worms to fish. So thyroid, even though it's making a thyroid hormone, it is not working well. So it's like it's like a mockery the body's creating, because the higher centers is like, the TSH and all is initially feeling like the work is being done, and finally it understands, oh, the metabolism is off. So that's when the body understands there is a problem. So the thyroid is overworking, and after some time it gives up. That's why people start gaining weight. And for thyroid to have it work properly, the iodine has to be there. And if iodine is not there, estrogen takes over. And estrogen takes over and it bosses over the cell, saying, produce more, produce more. So that crosses the cystic process in the body. So you will get thyroid cyst, polycystic ovarian disease, kidney cyst, and all the cystular process in the body is because of thyroid issue. And if you see little nodules like that, it is parathyroid issue, because it's trying to balance the acidity by pulling extra calcium to buffer, and whatever extra it is there, it's storing in the skin, so you'll have rough skin surface and stuff. So these are the fundamental basics of how we deal with toxins. So for iodine is the only one that says, if estrogen is saying, please work more, if it's yelling, iodine is saying, shut up. And that's the only way to offset it. And we are, at least 90% of the population in this world are iodine deficient. And to take iodine to replace takes almost a year. And iodine is what we need for radiation. We use so much cell phones, microwave, any chemicals in the body, we need iodine to cleanse. So the minimum requirement Japan released as 13.8 milligram per day. And the max I can get in the US is 12.5 milligram per day. So it's very challenging to replace iodine. And then the next problem is, if by chance iodine is low, right, it activates the immunity. So if you understand that concept, you will see, okay, T3 and T4, if I can go and tell you where exactly it will play a part, right? Let me see, where is the immunity issue? So if you understand, so thyroid literally, gets fatigued. And if by chance, so if you understand this, so when you get like problem, right? So all these. I am not going to go over what is primary versus, but if you understand that concept, then this will make sense. So then when thyroid is working inefficiently, it goes through two processes: type 1 immune deficiency, type 2 immune deficiency. Type 1 immune deficiency is a B cell issue. Type 2 is a T cell immune issue. So type 2 ends up being environmental issues. So it is going to have extracellular pathogen issue. So it would not be able to mediate the cellular immunity. So it causes the cell thyroid induced apoptosis, which means cells that would die because of deadly toxins in it. It's going to not be adequately cleansed. And so these fail, extracellular pathogen takes over. Whereas type 1 cell mediated immunity is when you will get multiple sclerosis, tuberculosis, and all the intracellular, dengue fever, and all the other stuff that is mediate. So if you understand this basic concept, right, you will understand why lymphangitis is an issue. When you already have an imbalance in vata, if you have an imbalance in thyroid, then extracellular pathogens, you are not going to clean well, and lymphedema becomes a problem, right? So when you make that connection, now we are going to play a detective role. So, okay, I'm a lymphatic. I'm third spacing. Remember, third spacing is why. Why are we third spacing? Because we do not have enough reservoir to hold the water inside the cells, right? So we have intravascular dehydration and extravascular flooding, right? If you understand that. So the cells are drowning in its own fluid. So the intravascular dehydration is high blood pressure. So everything is connected. It's like amazing. And the reason intracellular dehydration happens initially is because it doesn't have enough albumin, which indirectly is coming from liver. Liver is given up because it's like so sludgy. We are not digesting. The digestive toxins is overwhelming for the liver, and the liver doesn't make any more bile. And Dr. Marshall calls it, the liver is secreting now the acidic bile. The way you can tell is the absorption of the nutrients happen in iliac pouch, ileocecal junction. So, so the junction between small intestine and large intestine. So when they start having burning pain there, that's why you get ulcerative colitis and stuff. is because the bile is very acidic. Why is it acidic? It's because the cholesterol is not broken down into hormones because the liver cannot process it. For the liver to process cholesterol, it needs vitamin D and A to prime the cell so the iodine can work and act. And when vitamin A and D is not being absorbed because liver is not working well, the cholesterol keeps building up. So to reset the cholesterol, we need to reset nicotinic acid, B3. When you reset B3, triglycerides will normalize, and that triglycerides, when it normalizes, automatically oxidative stress will go away and oxidative damage to cells will be stopping. Why does oxidative damage happen? It's because we have HDL cholesterol, which has foam cells, which is very gentle. And when there is a leak in the vessel wall, which is kappa layer, endoderm is kappa. If you understand that, that's why all the holes, 9 holes is kappa. So the foam cells gently throws this ball so it goes and seals. So that's why foam cells is very important. But when we do not have good cholesterol, the low density lipoprotein is like a bowling ball. So it tries to mimic the big masters and tries to slam the ball, and it creates a hole in the endothelium. So the blood vessel wall becomes leaky. So you'll have spontaneous blood blisters. And these are the people, if you see their skin, they will have reperfusion injury. How you can tell? If you sit for a long time in one place, you get up, you perfuse those areas. So it's like the opening of the plumbing, right? Like your water is coming in or the blood is coming in. Because there were already holes in this wall, it seeps out. So it's not like they are injuring anything. It's a leaky vessel wall, and that's how you can tell they have a torn basement membrane. An extracellular matrix is not working well, and because they have basement membrane issue, they are not going to heal well. This happens because of high matrix mineraloproteinases. It's another concept you need to understand. So how can I show this? YouTube, there is a video, I hope you guys all watch it. It's called Why Do I Love Laminin? This video, if you watch, and I'm gonna make sure my kids are probably yelling at me if I talk too loud. So let me bring it down. I'm gonna show you a space where this is the laminin. Okay.
Polymerizes to form this structure that, if you remember, we saw in this beautiful picture of John Wizards. So this is what you find at the cell membrane, and the other components of basement membrane then become incorporated into this nascent laminin polymer. So this is the first step. If you don't polymerize laminin on the cell surface, you will never get anywhere with the basement membrane. So the other components are not able to do this by themselves. So I'll briefly talk about Anchorage, which was the first project I worked on when I came.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it. So if you
muscle, and this is different in different tissues. In muscle, this is quite a complicated business, and the major receptor in muscle is a molecule called dystroglycan, which is shown in red here, which one half of it spans the muscle cell membrane. On the outside, it connects to the G domain, this globule on laminin. The intracellular side, it has a long linking molecule called dystrophin, by which it links to the actin cytoskeleton. And this is really an important linkage. There are other players here as well, which we don't need to mention today. This is very important. As the muscle operates, this basement membrane that is situation here, which I explained that every animal has a laminin, and so we thought if it has a laminin, presumably it uses it for similar purposes, and by looking at sequence conservation across laminins, we might be able to pinpoint the regions that are important for this. And this worked. It doesn't always work, but in this case, it came up with a very clear result. So what I'm showing you here is the surface of this molecule to use. orange, I'm showing you residues that are identical in worms, flies, humans, and all other animals. So the sun, in pink, I'm showing you residues that
So I'm going to stop this and watch this video if you can. The reason I'm telling is in the flies, sorry, in the fly, when they rub the wing to fly, that's when, um, if they lack laminin, they'll develop spontaneous blisters, and it creates the hole in their fly wings, and that's how they age and die. And lymphedema, the same thing happens, right? You get spontaneous blisters. It's because they are lacking laminin. And laminin, the way it all fell into place for me is moringa, which is murunga enna, is the only one that has receptors for laminin, or rather it has the ability to repair the laminin and basement membrane, and that's why I use it for wound care. And if you understand this concept, you can repair any tissue in the body with moringa. And when I did my testing on moringa oil, because it also had properties. Why? Oh, okay. I went and tested it because I wanted to see what is the terpene it held. I wanted to see whether it had any terpene, but when I tested it, interestingly, it behaved both as a fixed oil and aromatic oil, and it has a boiling point of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. All this is important because you want to do cold press when you extract it, and the terpene it has called terpinolene, which is in tea tree oil, which is antimicrobial. It also has antifungal properties, and laminin, not only laminin, moringa seeds also has the external seeds, if they preserve it properly, gold as a colloidal gold, and it can repair DNA. So like how Swamiji says, moon consciousness is DNA, which is a gold. Gold is the only one that is capable of repairing our DNA, so you can create new DNA, because all the intracellular pathogen breaks our DNA and creates retro RNA, retrovirus, and through the RNA, it makes its own abundance of their organism. Okay, so if you understand that concept, you can understand why it's important to repair the DNA, repair the basement membrane, and in extracellular pathogen, why is it important to reset the vata layer? So if you want to reset lymphangitis, you need to reset vata layer. If you want to reset endoderm, which is kapha layer, anti-inflammatory, you need to reset the basement membrane and lamina. You understand, right? This is fascinating for me because I'm like saying, oh my God, So these are like Trishul, so you would want to reset the vata layer, you need to reset the kapha layer, then the pitta layer would be able to normalize. Because if you don't reset the vata layer, what happens? Pitta talakeritin, like the vata will get into the pitta, and pitta layer will have a surge into the head, a thin lymphatic layer that affects the mood. That's how you get like these confusion, paranoia, incomprehension, mood issues, anger, anxiety. All these is related to the hormonal stress in the brain, secondary to the imbalanced estrogen level in the pitta layer in the brain. And if the pitta layer normalizes, automatically they'll develop that bliss. If it is in a state of balance, then the kapha layer, see, everything is to bring it into balance. That's all. So if people are having secretions, they are in inflammatory state. So bringing anti-inflammatory in is important for kapha. For vata, it is oxidative stress. So you need to improve oxygenation, no matter where it is, the tissue, and then to normalize the energy. So this is kind of like the basic principle of how you'd work. And if you work on one a layer, automatically the other layers will normalize too. So if you just work on pitta and normalize your digestion with nirahara samyama, which I really love, which is essentially, right, even if you do nothing, if you just do soft diet and liquid diet and patya sapadu, just like how you do after giving birth and stuff, until the digestion normalizes. And நம்ம ஊர்ல rasam and all this, like, like simple foods with ghee. Ghee is very good to offset these layers. Then once pitta normalizes, automatically vata and kapha will normalize. So for coming back to your immunity issues, right? Immunity can be offset just with olfactory nerves. This is called marma point. So if you put turmeric oils there, I like pasumanjal. Pasumanjal, chekkalati, you can take the oils out. I get it from Canada. And that would, if you mix it with moringa oil and apply, most of your 90% of your problem will go away. And neem oil also I'll add, but sometimes I feel in India the contaminant so high. I started like having some allergic reaction to neem, so I'm a little bit worried about the neem oil. But whereas neem cake works very better from, I mean, very good from India, because I don't think they mess with it. So if you can get neem cake spunnak, like, after they extract the oil, have them give you the husk, and I mean, not husk, the cakes, and then you can make it into, like, dry powder. நம்ம ஊர்ல அது வத்தல் காயிற மாதிரி வச்சானாக்கா காஃபி பவுடர் மாதிரி இருக்குது. If you take it, it tastes so good. I actually started liking it, but I put it in a capsule and I'll make my own capsules. So my protocol would involve moringa. Again, like, moringa, I take it as oils, and neem, castor oil cakes. There's the cakes that after they extract the oil. And then I have, tribulan. That's what I use mostly. Turmeric I added because Swamiji says turmeric pulls the fluorides out, and I tested it actually. The way it worked, it was fascinating. So I put turmeric oil in like a little container like this, and my whole container melted after keeping the turmeric oil for like a week. That's when I realized it pulls BPA too. The plastics inside the body, the turmeric will heal. So since I tested it, I know it works. And actually, like, for example, I'm going to go show you. Okay, so I brought this. So this is the effect of turmeric. Can you imagine it? So just within a week, the bottle became like this, just by pouring the turmeric in, and you can see the effect of its work on plastics. So can you imagine how much of a filter it is? So these are my oral protocol. Locally, if you can get Shilajit, Shilajit, என்னாச்சு என்னோட my sister's husband, I told him, hey, I need 1 kilo Shilajit because I do it for interference field. I'll show you how it's called cation mud cation exchange, not cation mud therapy. This is my video on a patient, okay? Heal Now is my channel, as you see. That's one of my patients.
We did a mud pack therapy. These are called interference field. When you have a surgical scar, it gets buried and your energy doesn't flow. So you started having a cough after the surgery. How many days after surgery you had the cough? Like 3 weeks. 3 weeks afterwards. And how long did the cough last? 5 weeks. And everything you worked, you did with doctors, you did everything. I tried a lot of stuff like and Western medicine, nothing worked, right? So then you finally came with Swami. We did a propolis protocol, propolis with honey, little relief, not a lot, and then and not much difference. Honey did help, but the cough still came back. And then we did an interference field testing. You were positive for major energy blocks in 4 areas. And we did mud pack and tell what happened that night. First time in 6 weeks.
So you can see when you pull out the toxin, the energy normalizes so well. They'll have because the gallbladder meridian is what is the secret for sleep. So when they sleep normal, that means their pitta layer is normalized. So if you understand all this, then you will know how this whole thing, falls into place. I ate a rotten Kamala orange, and that's why I'm like, my throat is off a little bit. But anyway, so I am giving you an overview of how each one comes into play. So for lymphangitis, like I said, so we did a protocol where for my patient 3 weeks we did this neem moringa castor cakes, and then locally I think you would have to do the green mud therapy, which is Shilajit is that's what I was saying. So if interference feel, are you Shilajit mud? So I asked my brother-in-law to send it over. He went to the supplier and he said he wanted 1 kilo, and it seems in India they use it for sexual dysfunction, it seems, because it normalizes testosterone. It'll make sense because um, the testosterone is off if pitta layer is off, right? Because they are estrogen high. The cholesterol is not being made into testosterone. So you could see why. So that shopkeeper was stunned and they made fun of him. He said, but like you see, you need only a pinch of that. But like what I do is I mix it with a little bit water, and you would use it on where you need to detox. Leave it in until it dries. Then you wash it off, and then you will be able to. And I am going to show you mud pack therapy heal now. I did it for one girl, and I think you would be able to see my video. It is not going to come up. I don't know what I call the title. I did it for interference. Maybe I call mud pack interference therapy, IF. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to show you the one I did it for a girl and a nurse who works with me. Let me see whether I can go into my channel. Because you can also, in addition, do kinesia taping. I think I should do better titles because the title doesn't show up. Is that the one? I guess. Okay, this is okay. That is one of the decongestive therapy, but I'm gonna see whether I can see the mud pack I did. I guess not. Okay, anyway. So this is one patient I did complex decongestive therapy, okay?
So you're going to do it. This is enough, like almost like you're squirting spiritual water. So when you roll, right, make sure the roll is pointing away from you because it's
That's Una bootstraps.
hold it like this. So you do the same thing again and again, you know. But it's very soothing. The minute I finish, you're gonna feel good because it feels very nice on the skin. On the skin, right, it's moistened. So when we remove it next time, your skin will look nice. Yeah, not dry at all.
So you do Una bootstraps, multiple strips instead of constraining. It should be like a layer. Una boot is a calamines of gauze.
So you don't need to take it out every third day. So you can leave it. Yeah, and you wouldn't need it forever, just for like, 1 or 2 times until the swelling comes.
So that's one, but I don't think I did multiple. Like, I'm trying to see whether no. So I don't have. And this is the where I did the laser therapy with Ryan Carp. And you can take out the lymphedema.
It's called woolly honey that works very well. This for the take out chest. It's a little different. The light work.
I know that I had the laser on. That was like initially a long. Oh, it is a different type of laser I was using, I think. Yeah, it's a very different laser. But anyway, so you kind of understand what I am getting at, right? Like, so the treatment is local treatment is different from the oral treatment, and then the concept, the understanding of why each piece plays a part. So all this will tie in together. And I hope this was enough lesson for you. For blood marker, what would I follow? So if in case you do want to see how effective treatment is, if it is kappa layer, or rather if it is inflammation marker, you want to follow its CRP levels. You will see whether the CRP comes down until it normalizes. Keep giving nicotinic acid. And then for vata layer, best is to track triglycerides. So if you see triglycerides, how they are doing, vata layer is in harmony. And for pitta layer, it's all about digestion. So you how would you track the pitta layer? Because I think I wish I had like a simple marker I can tell you. Because it's all associated with digestion. So like if I can pick like one marker medically, what would I pick for pitta layer? I have to see. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do love Haritaki maintenance for pitta layer. So I think this finishes my topic I wanted to talk about orally. Like again, like we went over the medications which I already share with you. It's like total. I have my maintenance therapy for um, water layer with haritaki 1 capsule, moringa oil 1 capsule, nicotinic acid 500 milligram 1 capsule, circusime, which is L-acetylcarnitine, and that would to normalize triglycerides 1 capsule, glutamine 1 capsule, which is 500 milligram, magnesium orotate 1 gram. This is my protocol for maintenance until the lymphangitis normalizes, and I hope this gives you like a complete overview of how to normalize lymphangitis, which is called vata neer, which is lymphedema. Okay, I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Stop share, and I'm going to stop recording.